Have you ever seen the sparkling eyes of your dog when you hold a piece of food in your hand? They look at you with trust, with excitement, and you, full of love, share a bite of your meal. But did you know? That seemingly harmless act of love might be silently harming their little body, day by day. No, I'm not talking about chocolate or grapes. Those are well-known dangers. I'm talking about common, everyday foods, things that might even be sitting in your dog's bowl right now. You love them. You want the best for them. But if you're unintentionally feeding them one of the 16 foods listed here, you need to know the truth. Some of these can cause seizures, kidney failure, or even death. And heartbreakingly, most pet owners have no idea. I know that feeling, the mix of love and regret. But that's exactly why you're here, to learn and to care better. So let's start with the first food. It seems innocent, but is a sweet assassin for your dog. If you've ever stuffed peanut butter into a toy for your dog to lick, or used it as a reward during training, you're not alone. Many pet parents do it daily. But what most don't realize is that a sweet ingredient in some popular peanut butter brands can send your dog to the emergency vet within hours. That ingredient is xylitol, a sugar substitute. It's safe for humans. But for dogs, it causes a sudden insulin spike, leading to dangerously low blood sugar, seizures, coma, even death. Just a small amount can knock down a healthy dog. And the saddest part is, it often happens while you think you're treating them to something special. I know you're trying. You want your fur baby to be happy. But if the peanut butter you use isn't all natural, made from just roasted peanuts, you're gambling with their health. If you've done this before, don't blame yourself. What matters is learning and making changes. Need a safer alternative? Try mashed pumpkin, or a small spoon of unsweetened coconut yogurt. Tasty and safe. A surprising number of caring owners, even those who invest in things like smart dog collars to track health, miss the danger hiding in everyday treats. And if you're thinking, at least I never give my dog bacon. Hold on. Even deli meats, sausages, or sandwich ham you give them off the table can carry hidden risks. These processed meats often contain extremely high salt levels, preservatives like nitrates, and seasonings like garlic and onion, all toxic to dogs. Studies show that dogs who eat a lot of processed meats are at greater risk for pancreatitis, a painful and potentially fatal condition. Not to mention the increased risk of stomach, kidney, and bladder cancer due to constant nitrate exposure. And if you're thinking, oh, it's just a tiny piece, remember, to a body that weighs only a few dozen pounds, a small piece for a human is a big burden for a dog. Swap it with boiled, skinless, salt-free chicken. Your dog will still love it, and you'll have peace of mind. But danger doesn't only come from meat. Take something like instant noodles. You might mix it with rice when you're out of dog food. But these flavorful noodle packs often contain dangerously high salt levels, onion and garlic powder, and flavor enhancers like MSG, all damaging to a dog's liver and kidneys. Even the noodles themselves offer no nutrition, just empty carbs and bad fats. You think you're giving them a quick meal, but you're laying the groundwork for obesity, diabetes, and chronic illness. Instead, try boiling some brown rice or quinoa and mix with steamed vegetables. That's real love in a bowl. It's often during routine moments like these, feeding, walking, cuddling, that we unintentionally build or break trust. Noticing subtle dog trust behaviors, like leaning into you or sighing during cuddles, reminds us how deeply they depend on us. You see, it's not about trying, it's about knowing. And the next food proves this point: flavored yogurt. You've heard probiotics in yogurt are good for dog digestion? That's true. But not all yogurt is safe. Many fruit yogurts from the store are loaded with refined sugars, artificial sweeteners, and even xylitol, the very danger we just discussed. Plus, most adult dogs are lactose intolerant, which leads to bloating, diarrhea, and nausea within hours of eating. You're not wrong for wanting your dog to be healthy, but choosing the right kind of good is the real challenge. If you want to boost probiotics safely, go with plain Greek yogurt or lactose-free options. You'll be surprised how such a small change can have a big effect. It's also in these moments of care that many owners begin exploring support options like pet wellness plans. A quiet commitment to prevention rather than cure. Small, but not harmless, that's the perfect description for nuts, especially macadamia and walnuts. Maybe you dropped a few while snacking and thought it's fine if your pup licked them up. But the truth is, some nuts contain natural toxins that cause tremors, vomiting, leg weakness, or even liver failure within 12 to 24 hours. Even seemingly harmless nuts like almonds or cashews can pose choking hazards, intestinal blockages, or severe digestive upset, especially if salted. You can replace that crunch with cucumber or carrot slices. Cool, crisp, and totally safe. Think that's enough? Not quite. There are still foods people think are kind to share, like canned fish. Fish sounds healthy, right? But canned fish, especially tuna, often contains high mercury levels, a heavy metal that can damage a dog's nervous system over time. Many canned fish are also packed in oil, salt, or worse, preservatives that can harm the liver and kidneys long-term. Want to add fish to your dog's diet? Choose steamed or boiled salmon or sardines. No salt, no oil. If you must use canned, pick the kind packed in water, unseasoned. Simple, but possibly life-saving. Then there's food that seems safe because humans eat it, like roasted chicken. But that crispy skin holds huge amounts of unhealthy fats, and the garlic, onion, and salt in the seasoning can cause anemia, pancreatitis, and severe digestive problems in dogs. Chicken itself isn't bad. It's how we cook it that makes it the Achilles heel of many dogs. Instead of rotisserie chicken, go with boiled or steamed skinless chicken breast. Still your dog's favorite, but in its healthiest form. Even if you've removed roast meat, canned fish, and nuts from your dog's menu, there's still an overlooked group: dairy products. Who doesn't want to share a bit of cheese or a spoon of cool ice cream with their furry best friend? But the truth is, most adult dogs lose the ability to digest lactose found in dairy. The result? Diarrhea, bloating, stomach pain, lasting hours, while your dog suffers quietly and you have no idea. Some owners think their dog has a sensitive stomach, not knowing the real culprit is dairy. If your dog scratches a lot, gets ear infections, or licks its paws after eating dairy, it could be lactose or milk protein allergy. Skip the milk or ice cream. Try frozen banana slices or unsweetened coconut yogurt. Simple, safe, and refreshing. And if you love bread, especially the habit of tearing off a little piece for your dog at breakfast, it's time to pay closer attention. Bread may sound harmless, but it's full of yeast, refined sugar, and processed carbs. These cause bloating, digestive issues, and increase obesity and diabetes risk over time. In older dogs especially, chronic bloating and erratic behavior may be signs of something deeper, like early-stage canine cognitive dysfunction. Here's a lesser-known fact. The fermentation from yeast in bread can cause gastric dilation, a serious, painful, and sometimes fatal condition if untreated. Replace that bread with carrot sticks or cucumber slices. crunchy and gut-friendly. Another snack that seems harmless: breakfast cereals, those crispy, bite-sized treats often shared with dogs. But most commercial cereals are packed with refined sugar, artificial coloring, flavoring, and sometimes xylitol or raisins, all dangerously toxic to dogs. You may think just a few pieces won't hurt, but to a 10 to 20-pound dog, that much sugar can already disrupt metabolism, insulin response, or even trigger early diabetes. Instead, try a spoon of cooked oats or a banana slice. Your dog will thank you with bright, healthy eyes instead of tired ones from tummy pain. Now here's a particularly serious warning: grapes and raisins. Many people don't know that even a few grapes can trigger acute kidney failure in dogs, sometimes just hours after eating. The scary part? Not all dogs react the same way. But when they do, the results are severe. Some dogs have even died after eating just a small amount of raisins in cookies or cereal. This isn't just a casual warning. It's a serious reminder: avoid grapes in all forms. Always check snacks and leftovers within your dog's reach, especially with kids around. If you need a healthier, sweet option, try blueberries or strawberries. Tasty and totally safe. In the same danger zone as grapes, onions, and garlic, common flavorings in table scraps. The scary truth? These contain compounds that destroy red blood cells, leading to severe anemia in dogs. Raw, cooked, powdered, it's all toxic. Symptoms like lethargy, pale gums, vomiting sometimes don't show for days, making it hard to trace the cause. So your best bet is to completely avoid anything with garlic or onion, even in sauces or spice mixes. Another food that seems harmless but is extremely dangerous: sugar-free gum. Many sugar-free gums use xylitol. Yes, that one again. But in gum, the concentration is much higher. And if your dog swallows just one piece, they could fall into a coma within 30 minutes. This often happens when a dog finds gum in a bag, jacket, or desk. You need to store things more securely, because one piece of gum could become a sudden life or death emergency. And finally, but just as dangerous, green or sprouted potatoes. These contain solanine, a natural toxin that affects the nervous system, causing vomiting, tremors, irregular heartbeat, and in severe cases, paralysis or death. If you store potatoes in the kitchen or garage, check them regularly. Never give your dog peels or undercooked potatoes. A moment of carelessness could cost a tiny life. If you've made it this far, you're truly a caring pet parent. I know, you might feel worried, even guilty, if you've given your dog any of these foods. But don't let that stop you, because your awareness today can save your loyal friend tomorrow. Dogs can't speak their pain, but you, through informed, loving actions, can shield them from the dangers hiding in your own kitchen. And sometimes, doing better starts with small, everyday choices, from food to affection to choosing the right dog multivitamins that support their vitality behind the scenes. If you found this video helpful, please hit the subscribe button. Every week, I'll share more real stories and useful tips to help you care better, with knowledge, empathy, and heart. And if you know someone who has a dog, share this video, because one small action could make a world of difference for a four-legged soul that just wants to be loved the right way. Have you ever wondered if the familiar foods you share with your dog every day might not be an act of love, but actually a real danger? And no, we're not just talking about chocolate or grapes. There are other common foods that 99% of dog owners still feed their pets without realizing the harm they can cause. Right now, we're going to reveal 20 foods that could poison your dog, or even be fatal. And food number 9 is particularly dangerous. Yet most people have no idea. If you love your dog, don't miss this video, because some of these foods could already be in your dog's bowl at this very moment. Watch now and leave a comment if any of these foods surprise you. Are you sure you've never fed your dog one of these foods? Check now, because the first one may seem harmless, but it's actually full of risks. First up, if you think a slice of bread is a safe choice for your dog, think again. We often see bread as a harmless snack, but modern bread is no longer as simple as it used to be. Most bread today contains sugar, yeast, preservatives, and even dough conditioners, making it much harder for dogs to digest than it is for humans. Studies have shown that yeast in bread can continue fermenting in the stomach, leading to severe bloating, a condition that can be life-threatening if not treated in time. Not only that, white bread has a high glycemic index, increasing the risk of obesity and diabetes in dogs. Some people believe whole grain bread is a healthier option, but even whole grain and sourdough bread can still contain too many empty carbohydrates, providing little nutritional value while overloading the digestive system. So, if bread isn't a good choice, what should you give your dog instead? If you're looking for a healthier snack, try sliced carrots or cucumbers. They're crunchy, packed with vitamins, and won't spike blood sugar levels. Have you ever replaced bread with vegetables for your dog? Share your experience in the comments so others can learn from it. When it comes to snacks, peanut butter is one of the most popular choices. Who doesn't love the creamy, rich taste of a spoonful of peanut butter? But before you share this treat with your dog, pause for a moment. Not all peanut butter is safe. Bella, an adorable golden retriever, once faced a life-threatening situation just from licking peanut butter, and her owner had no idea. Within an hour, Bella started trembling, vomiting, and becoming disoriented. When she was rushed to the vet, they discovered that the peanut butter she ate contained xylitol, a highly toxic artificial sweetener for dogs. Xylitol causes a sudden insulin spike in dogs, leading to severe hypoglycemia, liver failure, and even death. Unlike humans, dogs absorb xylitol much faster, and even a small amount can be extremely dangerous. You might think, I only give my dog xylitol-free peanut butter, so is it safe? The problem is that many brands still contain added sugar and unhealthy oils, which can lead to obesity and pancreatitis if consumed regularly. So, what's a better alternative? If you want to give your dog a smooth and creamy treat, try mashed pumpkin or plain unsweetened yogurt. Just as delicious, but much safer. Do you use peanut butter for training? Check the ingredient label now and make sure it's free from xylitol. Speaking of seemingly harmless foods that can cause issues, dairy products are among the most common culprits. We often assume that a little cheese or a cup of milk won't harm dogs, but the truth may surprise you. When puppies are young, they have an enzyme called lactase that helps digest their mother's milk. However, as they grow older, most dogs lose their ability to digest lactose. This means that dairy products can cause bloating, diarrhea, vomiting, and stomach pain in many dogs. If your dog has ever had loose stools or seemed uncomfortable after drinking milk, they may be lactose intolerant. A study from the American Veterinary Medical Association found that over 70% of adult dogs experience digestive issues after consuming milk. Some dairy products, such as cheese, heavy cream, or flavored yogurt, also contain high amounts of fat, which can increase the risk of obesity and pancreatitis over time. However, if you still want to give your dog dairy-based treats, opt for plain Greek yogurt or low-lactose cheese, like goat cheese. These options are less likely to cause discomfort and can even provide probiotics that support digestion. Do you feed your dog cheese or milk? Observe their reaction carefully. And if you've ever noticed digestive issues, let us know in the comments. Have you ever shared deli meat, sausages, or bacon with your dog? We all know that dogs love meat, but not all types of meat are safe for them. Some processed meats can be far more harmful than you might expect. The high levels of salt, nitrates, and preservatives found in processed meats can cause dehydration, high blood pressure, kidney stress, and even cancer. A study from the K9 Health Foundation revealed that dogs that frequently eat processed meats have a 30% higher risk of developing pancreatitis compared to those on a fresh food diet. You might think, can a small piece of sausage really be that harmful? The truth is that health issues accumulate over time. If your dog regularly eats processed meat, their internal organs may suffer serious long-term damage. If you want to share meat with your dog, choose plain boiled chicken or lean beef. These options are high in protein, but free from preservatives and harmful seasonings. Are you giving your dog leftovers from the table? Try changing this habit today to help your dog live a healthier and longer life. Are you still here? If so, that means you truly care about your pet's health. And that's amazing! But don't leave just yet, because this list still contains many hidden dangers you may have never considered. And the next food on our list might have even been in your breakfast this morning. Imagine you're preparing a delicious breakfast with cereal, crunchy, flavorful, and seemingly healthy. But have you ever thought that these harmless-looking grains could actually be dangerous for your dog? A study from the Journal of Veterinary Nutrition found that processed cereals often contain high amounts of sugar, artificial coloring, and preservatives, all of which contribute to obesity, diabetes, and metabolic disorders in dogs. Some cereals even contain raisins or chocolate, two ingredients that are extremely toxic to pets. Let's ask an important question. Why would I feed my dog cereal when there are so many better options? If you want to share breakfast with your dog, try plain-cooked oatmeal or fresh blueberries, both tasty and safe. Are you currently feeding your dog bits of cereal? Check the ingredient label right now. When it comes to familiar foods with hidden dangers, few are as commonly misunderstood as tomatoes. Did you know that ripe tomatoes may be safe in small amounts? But green tomatoes and tomato plants are highly dangerous? Solanine and tomatine, two natural compounds found in green tomatoes, leaves, and stems, can cause neurological toxicity, digestive issues, rapid heart rate, and even nervous system damage in dogs. A study from the Journal of Animal Science found that dogs that consume green tomatoes may experience tremors, vomiting, and difficulty breathing within hours. However, fully ripe tomatoes in moderation are generally safe. But if you grow tomatoes at home, ensure your dog cannot access the plants. Have you ever seen your dog nibbling on leaves? Watch them closely today, because they may be exposed to toxic substances without you realizing it. When discussing dangerous foods, we can't ignore processed meats like deli meat, sausages, and bacon. These savory slices may tempt your dog, but are they truly safe? You might think, a small piece won't hurt, right? But the truth is, processed meats contain extremely high levels of salt, nitrates, and preservatives, which can cause dehydration, high blood pressure, pancreatitis, and even cancer. A report from the K9 Health Foundation found that dogs that consume processed meats frequently have a 30% higher risk of developing pancreatitis compared to those that eat natural foods. If you want to feed your dog meat, choose plain boiled chicken or lean beef. It still provides essential protein without harmful chemicals. Are you currently sharing sausages with your dog? Stop this habit today to help them live longer and healthier lives. If you think a little beer or wine won't harm your dog, it's time to learn the truth. Even a small amount of alcohol can pose a severe threat to your dog's health. Have you ever accidentally left a glass of beer on the table and noticed your dog trying to lick it? A small dog once fell into a coma after just a tiny sip of beer. The reason? Dogs lack the enzymes needed to metabolize alcohol, making them 5 times more susceptible to alcohol poisoning than humans. Symptoms of alcohol poisoning in dogs include disorientation, vomiting, rapid heart rate, and even respiratory failure. If you notice any of these signs after your dog has been exposed to alcohol, take them to the vet immediately. Remember, there is no safe amount of alcohol for dogs, so keep all alcoholic beverages out of their reach. Have you ever seen your dog show curiosity about a glass of wine or beer? Share your experience in the comments. Can you guess what the next dangerous food is? If you think you already know all the harmful foods for dogs, think again. Some foods may seem harmless, but they can actually lead to serious health consequences, and many dog owners are completely unaware of them. A cup of flavored yogurt may seem like a healthy breakfast option, but is it really safe for dogs? Let's take a closer look. Not all yogurt is safe. Many people believe that yogurt is good for digestion, but the problem lies in flavored yogurts that contain added sugars and artificial sweeteners like xylitol. A study from the Journal of Veterinary Research found that a high-sugar diet can increase the risk of obesity, diabetes, and dental problems in dogs. Additionally, yogurt made from cow's milk can still cause diarrhea in dogs that are lactose intolerant. So, what's the better choice? If you want to support your dog's digestion, try plain Greek yogurt or lactose-free yogurt. These options still provide probiotics without posing a risk to your dog's digestive system. Are you feeding your dog yogurt? Check the ingredients on the label right now. Do you enjoy eating popcorn while watching movies? If so, chances are you've shared a few pieces with your dog before. But not all popcorn is safe. Butter-flavored and seasoned popcorn contains high amounts of salt, butter, and artificial flavoring, which can lead to pancreatitis, obesity, and digestive disorders. On top of that, unpopped kernels can be a choking hazard or even break your dog's teeth. You might think, just a little bit won't hurt, right? But the issue is that a dog's digestive system is not designed to handle high amounts of fat and salt. If you really want to share popcorn with your dog, try plain, air-popped popcorn with no salt or butter, but only in small amounts. Are you leaving a bowl of popcorn within your dog's reach? Watch closely and see if they're eager to snatch a bite. Have you ever thought that vitamin-rich foods could actually be harmful to dogs? This may sound contradictory, but if you're feeding your dog too much animal liver, be careful. Liver is packed with vitamin A, an essential nutrient for dogs. However, excessive consumption can lead to vitamin A toxicity, causing bone thinning, skeletal deformities, and even chronic joint pain. A study from the Journal of Veterinary Nutrition found that dogs that consume liver regularly have a 40% higher risk of bone disorders than those with a balanced diet. You might wonder, don't wild wolves eat liver too? Yes, but in the wild, they consume the entire prey, ensuring a balanced nutrient intake. This is why dogs should not eat liver every day. So, what's a safer way to supplement vitamin A? Try lean chicken, salmon, or boiled eggs. These foods provide the necessary vitamins without the risk of overdose. Have you ever fed your dog liver? Try reducing the amount and observe their reaction. Have you ever seen your dog getting curious about raw dough? If so, stop them immediately. Raw dough contains yeast, which can continue fermenting inside the dog's stomach, producing gas and causing severe bloating. In some cases, This can lead to a dangerous stomach expansion, which, if untreated, can be fatal. Imagine this. You're kneading dough, and your curious dog takes a quick lick. You may not think much of it, but just a few hours later, they could experience stomach swelling, difficulty breathing, and severe pain. If you bake at home, always keep dough out of your dog's reach. And if you suspect your dog has eaten raw dough, monitor them closely and take them to the vet immediately if you notice any unusual symptoms. Do you leave dough on the kitchen counter? Check now. Have you ever accidentally dropped food on the floor and seen your dog rush to clean it up? This could be more dangerous than you think, especially when it comes to the foods we're about to discuss. One of the most controversial foods regarding dog health is raw eggs. You may have heard that raw eggs help keep a dog's coat shiny, but is this really true? The reality is that raw eggs can contain salmonella, a dangerous bacteria that can cause food poisoning in dogs. Additionally, egg whites contain avidin, which inhibits biotin absorption, leading to hair loss, dry skin, and brittle nails if consumed frequently. So, are eggs good or bad? They can be beneficial, but only when cooked. If you want to add protein and healthy fats to your dog's diet, boiled or pan-fried eggs without oil or seasoning are great choices. Have you ever fed your dog raw eggs? If so, share your experience in the comments. Coffee and tea. A source of energy for humans, but a toxin for dogs. Have you ever left your coffee cup on the table and noticed your dog curiously sniffing around? If so, stop them immediately. Caffeine stimulates the nervous system in humans, but for dogs, it can cause seizures, increased heart rate, and even death. Some cases of dogs accidentally licking coffee have resulted in tremors, muscle control loss, and the need for emergency medical care. Do you think a little tea or coffee won't hurt? The truth is, there is no safe amount of caffeine for dogs. Even energy drinks and sodas contain caffeine and other stimulants that can severely harm your dog. So, what if your dog needs an energy boost? Give them fresh water and high-protein foods like chicken or salmon, rather than any caffeinated drinks. Do you leave your coffee cup within your dog's reach? Check now. Have you ever shared a piece of sausage or bacon with your dog? If so, you may be unknowingly harming their health without realizing it. Sausages, bacon, and other processed meats contain extremely high levels of salt, nitrates, and preservatives, all of which put stress on the kidneys, increase the risk of high blood pressure, heart disease, and even cancer. A study from the American Veterinary Association found that dogs that frequently consume processed foods have a 40% higher risk of developing pancreatitis than those that eat natural foods. You might think, a small piece won't hurt, right? The problem is that the harmful effects of these preservatives accumulate over time, and by the time you notice symptoms, it may already be too late. Instead of feeding your dog sausages or bacon, try boiled chicken or lean beef. Have you ever seen your dog chewing on leaves? Keep an eye on them today to prevent accidental poisoning. But don't leave just yet. Some of the last foods on this list might surprise you the most. Many of these foods are still considered healthy choices by dog owners, but the reality is completely different. Do you think a little energy drink could help your dog stay alert? If so, think again. Energy drinks are designed for humans, containing extremely high levels of caffeine, taurine, and artificial sugars, all of which can severely damage a dog's heart and nervous system. A study from the Journal of Veterinary Science found that caffeine in energy drinks can cause a dog's heart rate to spike dangerously, leading to seizures and even death. You might think, but my dog only licked a little. Is that really dangerous? The issue is, dogs absorb caffeine much faster than humans, and even a tiny amount can cause acute poisoning. If your dog needs an energy boost, fresh water and natural protein sources like chicken or salmon are far better choices. Do you leave energy drinks within your dog's reach? Check now. Think only processed foods are harmful? Think again. Some vegetables that seem healthy can actually be dangerous for dogs, and green tomatoes are one of them. Have you ever seen your dog nibbling on leaves or unripe fruits in your garden? If you grow tomatoes, make sure they can't access the plant, because green tomatoes, leaves, and stems contain solanine and tomatine, two compounds that can cause neurological toxicity, diarrhea, tremors, and irregular heartbeats in dogs. Some people believe fully ripe tomatoes are safe, and this is true in moderation. But if you're unsure about the ripeness, it's best to avoid giving it to your dog. Looking for a safe vegetable alternative? Try boiled carrots or sweet potatoes. These are nutritious and completely safe. Finally, there is one food that many people still feed their dogs without realizing it could be dangerous: instant noodles. Instant noodles may be a quick and convenient meal for humans, but for dogs, they are far from a healthy choice. The biggest issue is their high sodium content, not to mention MSG, seasonings, and fried oils, all of which can cause high blood pressure, digestive issues, and kidney damage in dogs. Some people might think, as long as I don't give my dog the seasoning packet, it should be fine, right? The reality is that even the noodles themselves have no real nutritional value and still contain preservatives and unhealthy fats. So, if you want to treat your dog to a delicious and nutritious meal, try cooked brown rice or plain oatmeal. Both are easy to digest and provide healthier energy. Have you ever let your dog taste instant noodles? If so, it's time to rethink that choice. You've made it to the end of this list, but let's be honest, how many of these foods have you unknowingly fed your dog? Has your dog ever shown symptoms that you now suspect were caused by food? Leave a comment below, because your story might help other dog owners too. If you found this information helpful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button right now. Every week, we bring you scientific, practical, and easy-to-apply knowledge to help your dog live longer, stay healthier, and be happier. See you in the next video. In my 16 years as a veterinarian, I've seen countless emergencies. But the most heartbreaking cases? They don't come from car accidents or injuries. They come from food. Everyday food, given with love, silently destroying the dogs who trust us the most. It's not chocolate or grapes. It's peanut butter, bacon, canned tuna. The things sitting in your kitchen right now, harmless looking, even healthy to humans, but inside your dog's body, they act like slow poisons. By the time symptoms appear, it's often too late. Liver failure, pancreatitis, seizures, and through it all, your dog looks up at you, trusting that you're doing the right thing, but you didn't know. Until now. This video could save your dog's life. Stay till the end. Because the first food on this list? You probably gave it to them this week. Your dog licks the spoon lovingly. Peanut butter, their favorite treat. You smile, thinking you're sharing a little joy. But hidden in that creamy swirl might be a death sentence. Xylitol. It's not just a sweetener. In dogs, xylitol is absorbed rapidly, triggering a surge of insulin that drops their blood sugar within 30 minutes. Then comes the liver failure, the collapse, the seizures. In one clinical report from PubMed 2006, a Chihuahua ate xylitol and entered hypoglycemic shock within an hour. His liver nearly failed. He survived, but only after a full month of treatment. Now imagine this. Your dog is lying limp, eyes wide, breathing shallow, and they still trust you. They think you're helping. That's what breaks most people. One comment read, "I feel horrible too. I truly hope they forgive me. This ingredient hides in more than just peanut butter. It's in sugar-free gum. And that might be the most dangerous item in your purse. One piece of gum can contain up to 1 gram of xylitol. That's enough to send a small dog into a coma. They find it in your bag or pick it off the ground, chewing happily, and within minutes, they collapse. But it doesn't stop there. Maybe you thought yogurt was safe. You've heard probiotics are good, right? So you share your flavored strawberry yogurt. It seems healthy. But here's what you don't see. Most flavored yogurts are packed with refined sugar, sometimes xylitol, and almost always lactose. And here's a fact most people don't know. Adult dogs are lactose intolerant. That yogurt sits in their stomach, bubbling, fermenting. The bloating, cramps, diarrhea. They suffer in silence. You think they're just sleepy, but inside, they're in agony. And then comes summer. You grab an ice cream cone, it's hot, your dog looks up at you, tongue out, begging. You give them a few licks. But that creamy treat brings 3 threats in one: lactose, sugar, and fat. The sugar spikes their blood glucose. The fat overwhelms their pancreas, triggering pancreatitis, a painful inflammation that can turn fatal. One viewer confessed, "I used to give my dog ice cream every weekend. When I found out what it does, I cried. She had pancreatitis, and I never made the connection." And just when you think you've seen the worst, lunch happens. You're eating a sandwich. Your dog sits beside you, begging for a bite. What harm could a little piece do? But that bite includes lunch meat, soaked in salt and nitrates, a slice of cheese filled with lactose, and mayo or mustard often made with xylitol, spices, and even onion powder, all stacked between 2 slices of bread, a double dose of preservatives and yeast that bloat their gut. It's not just one thing. It's the combination, a slow, layered assault on their liver, kidneys, and pancreas. But here's the thing. You didn't know. You thought you were showing love. And now that you do know, you can change everything. If you want to give them peanut butter, choose a natural brand with only roasted peanuts. For a cool treat, freeze some banana slices or offer lactose-free yogurt. Instead of table scraps, cook them a small portion of plain, boiled chicken, unseasoned, skinless. You're not being strict. You're being a protector. Because this was just the beginning. The next group of foods, they're even more tempting. Savory, rich, crispy. The kind of thing your dog begs for with those soulful eyes. But every bite is a step toward a silent, agonizing death. You might have given one this morning. It starts with a smell, the sizzle in the pan. Bacon. Your dog's eyes light up. They sit, they wag, they wait. You cave. Just a little piece, you think. But that piece is a loaded gun. Bacon is packed with salt, saturated fat, and chemical preservatives. A 20-pound dog eating one strip is the equivalent of you downing an entire pizza drenched in grease. Within hours, their pancreas, a delicate organ behind their stomach, begins to swell. It's called pancreatitis, and it feels like being burned from the inside out. What makes it worse? Nitrates. These preservatives are carcinogenic in long-term doses. They accumulate. One piece becomes a pattern, a habit, a tragedy waiting to unfold. And just like that, love becomes poison. One viewer admitted, "We gave our dog bacon grease for years. Now I wonder if that's why she developed cancer." But bacon is just the beginning. Let's talk sausage, pepperoni, hot dogs, These processed meats are more dangerous than they look. Not only are they high in fat and sodium, but they often contain onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, and chemical flavorings, all highly toxic to dogs. Onion compounds, even in powdered form, destroy red blood cells, leading to hemolytic anemia. Their gums turn pale. Their breathing becomes labored. And by the time symptoms appear, it may already be too late. But how would you know? Your dog ate one slice of pepperoni. They seemed fine until the next slice. And the next. These foods don't always kill in one bite, but they accumulate silently, damaging the organs little by little. Then comes Sunday dinner, roast chicken. It smells heavenly. You tear a crispy piece of skin, still hot from the oven, and toss it under the table. That gesture of kindness, it might trigger a health emergency. Roast chicken is often seasoned with salt, rosemary, thyme, garlic, and onion powder, and the skin, so crispy and flavorful, is nearly pure fat. Fat that overwhelms the pancreas. Seasonings that attack red blood cells. Salt that dehydrates and strains the kidneys. Your dog eats it, tail wagging. You feel like a good parent. But their body is spiraling into inflammation and toxicity. And if you're thinking, at least I didn't give them a full meal, just scraps, let's talk pizza, one slice. Just crust and a bit of cheese, maybe a pepperoni. What harm could it do? Plenty. Pizza is a perfect storm of danger for dogs. The crust contains refined flour and yeast, which ferments in their stomach, causing gas and bloating. The cheese is high in fat and lactose. The sauce often contains onion and garlic. The meats are cured and spiced, and together, this combination overwhelms every organ: pancreas, liver, kidneys, blood. Some dogs vomit, others bloat, others crash and go silent, a rapid cascade of organ stress. One subscriber wrote, "I thought I was just being kind. One slice of pizza." That night, he couldn't stop throwing up. And then there's leftover curry. You're tired, you didn't finish dinner, you figure, I'll just give it to the dog. But what's in that curry? Chili, capsaicin, onions, oil, spices. For humans, it's comfort food. For dogs, it's gastrointestinal fire. Capsaicin irritates the stomach lining, triggering vomiting, cramps, and inflammation. Onions damage their blood. The oil triggers pancreatitis, and the salt. It quietly destroys kidney tissue over time. Your dog doesn't protest. They eat happily, then lie down. Hours later, they're curled in a corner, belly tight, eyes squinting in pain. And they still trust you. But you don't have to feel helpless. There are simple, powerful swaps. If your dog loves savory food, boiled, skinless chicken breast is your best friend. Plain, unseasoned, lean. Or try plain turkey, cooked carrots, or even pumpkin puree. These options support their health instead of destroying it. And remember, what's safe for you can be deadly for them. You're not overreacting. You're protecting a body built differently from yours. A digestive system that can't process spices, grease, or preservatives the way you can. And if you've made these mistakes before, you're not alone. That feeling in your chest right now? It's not guilt, it's love. And love means learning. Because the next group of foods, they're labeled healthy, sold in bright cans. They seem like a great idea, but they hold a darker truth. You might have shared one yesterday, and you thought you were being healthy. It sounds healthy, doesn't it? Fish, high in protein, brain food, rich in omega-3. So you open a can of tuna and offer your dog a few bites. They love it. Their tail wags. You feel proud, like you just gave them something truly nourishing. But canned fish hides a silent danger. Tuna, mackerel, even sardines packed in oil contain high levels of mercury and heavy metals that slowly build up in your dog's body. Unlike humans, dogs have smaller livers, slower detoxification, and fragile nervous systems. Mercury doesn't just sit there. It accumulates in the brain, leading to tremors, seizures, and irreversible neurological damage. What's worse, most canned fish is preserved with salt and oil. Two things that seem harmless, but in a dog's body, wreak havoc. Excess sodium causes dehydration and kidney strain. The oil, especially if it's soybean or sunflower, triggers pancreatic inflammation. One user wrote, "I shared tuna with my dog every week. Now he has tremors and coordination issues. I had no idea fish could do that." If you want to give them fish, steam fresh salmon or sardines, plain and boneless. No oil, no seasoning, just real protein. That way, they get the benefits, without the long-term risk. But fish isn't the only food dressed in healthy packaging. Sometimes you run out of dog food. It's late, you're tired, so you reach for a quick fix. Instant noodles. They're just noodles, right? Harmless? Maybe with a little rice. Here's what really happens. The flavor packet in those noodles is a chemical bomb. MSG, onion powder, garlic powder, and a shocking amount of salt. One small packet can exceed your dog's daily sodium limit by tenfold. That much salt dehydrates their body, shrinks their cells, and overworks the kidneys. The onion and garlic powders, they destroy red blood cells slowly and silently. And the noodles themselves? Just refined carbs, empty calories that spike blood sugar, trigger weight gain, and increase diabetes risk. And still, your dog wags their tail. They don't know what they're eating. You do now. Instead, boil some brown rice and mix it with steamed carrots or pumpkin. Takes 10 minutes. Saves a life. And speaking of sugar bombs, let's talk about breakfast cereal. Every morning, your dog watches you eat colorful loops or flakes. You toss a few their way, just a small handful. But those few pieces are more sugar-dense than candy. They're designed to spike human dopamine, not canine health. The artificial colors, made from petroleum derivatives, linked to liver inflammation and hyperactivity. Many cereals also contain raisins or chocolate chips, both potentially lethal in tiny doses. And that splash of milk you pour? Another dose of lactose their body can't break down. One woman wrote, "I used to let my dog lick the cereal bowl. I thought it was cute. Now I feel sick to my stomach knowing I could have killed her." The better choice? A spoonful of plain oats, cooked soft, with banana slices or a bit of peanut butter, without xylitol. Crunchy, sweet, and actually safe. But even cereals feel like nothing compared to the real danger. Cookies, warm from the oven, they smell like love. You break off a corner and your dog catches it midair. It's a moment, a memory. But here's what you gave them. Butter and oil that spike pancreas inflammation, flour and sugar that send blood sugar soaring, then crashing, possibly chocolate, xylitol, or vanilla extract, all potentially fatal. Even store-bought dog cookies are filled with preservatives, colorings, and chemical thickeners. Some contain propylene glycol, a cousin of antifreeze. It's legal in pet food, but it's still a toxin. You're not sharing love. You're sharing chemicals their body can't handle. So what's the fix? Bake your own dog-safe treats with pumpkin, oats, and peanut butter. Freeze banana bites. Or simply offer carrot sticks. Crunchy, natural, and guilt-free. And finally, the side dish everyone steals off your plate. French fries. One fry. Crispy. Golden. Salty. What harm could it do? Plenty. French fries are deep-fried in oil that's reused, oxidized, and saturated with trans fats. The salt content is through the roof. For a dog, just a few fries are enough to dehydrate, inflame the pancreas, and cause intestinal distress. Fast food fries are even worse, coated in flavor enhancers, preservatives, and made from potatoes that may already be sprouted before processing. Introducing solanine, a natural toxin. You see your dog lying still later, bloated, lethargic. You think they're tired. They're not. They're hurting. But they can't tell you. And now, you know the truth. These aren't treats. They're toxins. And if you've given them before, you're not alone. You were acting in love. Now you can act in knowledge. Because the next foods, they don't even smell dangerous, but they can paralyze your dog in less than 12 hours. It's a party. Balloons, laughter, music. You bring out a birthday cake. Your dog jumps up, tail wagging, eyes wide. You smile. You give them a bite. It's love. It's celebration. It's memory. And it could be the moment everything starts to go wrong. Cake and frosting, even in small amounts, are packed with sugar, butter, lactose, and often vanilla extract, which can be up to 35% alcohol. That's not just a sweet treat. That's a metabolic bomb in your dog's body. Sugar spikes their blood glucose, overstressing the pancreas. Lactose causes bloating and cramping. The fat triggers pancreatitis. And the alcohol in vanilla extract? It can lead to ethanol poisoning, rapid disorientation, tremors, seizures, even coma. And that's just vanilla cake. If it's chocolate, theobromine toxicity becomes another lethal layer. And if the frosting contains xylitol, even worse. But what if it's not cake? What if it's just a raisin or a single grape? This is perhaps the most terrifying part of all. Because no one knows why grapes and raisins are so toxic to dogs. There is no safe dose. Some dogs eat 10 and survive. Others eat 1 and die. Within 24 hours, they develop acute kidney failure. Their urine stops. Their energy vanishes. Their kidneys shut down. And there's no antidote. One dog owner wrote, "She just grabbed a raisin off the floor." Less than a day later, we were at the emergency vet saying goodbye. So if you're baking, snacking, or simply cleaning up after guests, be alert. Check cookies, cereals, breads, even trail mixes. Raisins and grapes hide everywhere. And if you think beverages are safer, think again. Coffee, energy drinks, espresso, tea, they all contain caffeine and sometimes xylitol. Dogs process caffeine much slower than humans, making it a potent cardiac and nervous system toxin. Even a few laps can trigger rapid heartbeat, seizures, and collapse. Your dog might lick a cup or grab a can. You might not even see it happen until it's too late. So store all drinks out of reach. Skip the cake. And never assume a little bit is okay. Because the next mistake? It could be their last. But here's the good news. You've made it this far. You're not ignoring the warning signs anymore. You're choosing differently. And that choice might save your dog's life tonight. Still, some of the most misleading foods are yet to come. They look plain, harmless, even veterinarian approved, but they hide deadly risks behind a healthy image. You're trying to do the right thing. You've heard that simple foods are better. So you make some white rice for your dog. Plain, soft, comforting. But here's the twist. White rice, when cooked in chicken broth, butter, or with a sprinkle of seasoning, transforms from harmless to harmful. That broth likely contains onion and garlic powder, silent killers that destroy red blood cells, leading to anemia and long-term organ damage. Butter adds saturated fat, overloading the pancreas. Even the portion size matters. Too much rice leads to spikes in blood sugar, then a crash. And uncooked rice? Even worse. It expands in the stomach, causing painful bloating and potential blockages, especially in small breeds. But at least rice feels safe. What about corn on the cob? It seems even simpler. Natural. From the garden. But once your dog chews it, the cob doesn't digest. It swells inside their gut, becoming like cement in the intestines. Countless emergency surgeries are done every year to remove corn cobs lodged in dogs' digestive tracts. Even the kernels, though sweet, are pure starch, sending blood sugar soaring. And if the corn was grilled, seasoned, or buttered, it adds another layer of risk. Now, let's talk about something that lives in your cabinet. Human vitamins. You take supplements every day. You're healthy. So when your dog seems sluggish, you think, why not give them one of mine? But human-formulated vitamins, especially iron, vitamin D, and calcium, are dosed for much larger bodies. A single tablet of iron can cause severe internal bleeding in a dog. Vitamin D accumulates in their system, leading to kidney failure. Even children's vitamins sometimes contain xylitol, repeating the fatal cycle we opened this video with. Their liver can't filter it. Their kidneys can't flush it. Their body isn't designed for ours. If your dog truly needs supplements, talk to your vet. Use dog-specific brands only, carefully dosed, clearly labeled, because trying to help shouldn't hurt. And you're here because you care. You're still watching, still learning, still protecting. And now, your final moment is coming. Because all of this, the shock, the fear, the guilt, leads to one truth. You didn't know, but now you do. And that changes everything. In my 20 years as a veterinarian, the most heartbreaking cases didn't come from car accidents or fights. They came from love, from food given with care and trust. I've held dogs in my arms as their organs failed, not from poison, not from trauma, but from something as simple as a bite of peanut butter or a slice of bacon. You've cared for dogs your whole life, but some foods you trusted could be silently killing them. And no, it's not just chocolate. It's far worse, and much closer to your kitchen. Today, I'll walk you through 13 everyday foods that seem harmless but can destroy a dog's body from the inside out. Stick with me to the end, because one of these might be sitting in your pantry right now, and knowing the truth might save your dog's life. Up to 1. Xylitol, the sweet assassin. You see sugar-free and think it's safe, even healthier. But for dogs, xylitol is not just toxic. It's a chemical ambush. This common sweetener is found in sugar-free gum, peanut butter, breath mints, toothpaste, even chewable vitamins. It's hiding in plain sight. In dogs, xylitol causes a massive surge of insulin within minutes. Their blood sugar crashes so fast that they collapse, seize, and fall into a coma. In a case study from Merck Veterinary Manual, a Chihuahua ingested a small piece of xylitol gum, and within 1 hour, her liver began to fail. It took 3 days of intensive care to save her. Imagine giving your dog a treat, watching her tail wag, and not realizing you've just triggered organ failure. Check your peanut butter. Read your gum labels. Even natural supplements can contain this silent killer. If the label says xylitol, it's not a treat. It's a toxin. Instead, go for plain roasted peanut butter. Just peanuts, no additives. That same tail will wag, and you'll have peace of mind. Your dog trusts you blindly. But xylitol doesn't wait for second chances. So if xylitol is this deadly, what other everyday foods are we mistaking for love? 2. Grapes and raisins. One bite, one bullet. One grape. That's all it takes. Not a bunch. Not a bowl. Just one. Grapes and raisins are like Russian roulette for dogs. Some eat a handful and walk away fine. Others eat a single grape and face acute kidney failure within 24 hours. Scientists still don't fully understand why, but we know this. The toxin affects every dog differently, and there's no safe dose. In a 2014 clinical study, 50% of dogs that ingested grapes developed symptoms. Some went into renal shutdown, vomiting and collapsing in less than 2 days. Many never recovered. It doesn't matter if they're seedless. It doesn't matter if your dog has eaten them before. The next grape might be the one that stops their kidneys cold. And here's the kicker. Grape toxicity often begins silently. By the time symptoms appear, lethargy, vomiting, refusal to eat, the damage is already deep inside. Keep grapes, raisins, trail mix, and grape juice far from reach. Don't drop that oatmeal raisin cookie. Don't leave a fruit bowl unattended. Instead, give blueberries or sliced strawberries. Sweet, safe, and packed with antioxidants your dog can actually use. One grape is a gamble no one wins. And if fruit can shut down kidneys, what can bacon do to the pancreas? Bacon and fatty foods. Love served in a frying pan. The smell of bacon. Your dog sits, waits, tail thumping. You smile, tear a crispy piece, and offer it with love. But inside your dog, that moment of joy becomes a metabolic explosion. Bacon and fatty cuts trigger a rapid response in a dog's digestive system. The pancreas goes into overdrive, trying to process the saturated fats and salt. In many cases, this leads to pancreatitis, a painful, potentially deadly condition where the pancreas inflames and begins digesting itself. Symptoms don't come right away. Your dog may seem tired, lose appetite, walk with a hunched back, and by the time the vomiting starts, their organs may already be compromised. And it's not just the fat. Bacon is loaded with nitrates and preservatives that build up over time, damaging the liver and increasing cancer risk. A single strip of bacon to a 20-pound dog is like a human eating 3 pizzas doused in salt and grease in one sitting. Love doesn't have to be seasoned. Swap the bacon for boiled, skinless chicken or a piece of steamed sweet potato. Still tasty, still joyful, but safe. You meant well, but bacon doesn't forgive biology. And if fat attacks the pancreas, what happens when garlic destroys the blood itself? 4. Garlic and onion, the invisible blood killers. You don't see it, you don't smell it, but your dog's red blood cells do. Garlic, onion, leeks, chives, whether raw, cooked, powdered, or dried, contain thiosulfates. These compounds quietly infiltrate your dog's bloodstream and begin a lethal process. Hemolysis, the destruction of red blood cells. The result? Hemolytic anemia. Your dog can't carry enough oxygen. Their gums turn pale. They become weak, breathless, and disoriented. But here's what makes it worse. Symptoms may not appear for 3 to 5 days, long after you've forgotten about the soup scrap or sandwich crust you shared. According to a veterinary study, just 15 g of onion per kg of body weight can trigger severe anemia. For a medium-sized dog, that's one slice of pizza or a few spoonfuls of gravy. Garlic powder is even more concentrated, and it hides in countless foods: baby food, rotisserie chicken, canned broth, and seasoning blends. These aren't exotic ingredients. They're everyday. And they don't just damage, they accumulate. If your dog shows weakness, dark urine, or urine, or sudden fatigue, the culprit might already be in their bloodstream. Replace risky scraps with simple boiled vegetables. Dogs don't need flavor bombs. They need safety. You can't see blood cells dying, but they are. And if invisible toxins destroy the blood, what if the next food targets your dog's brain? Chocolate and coffee, the silent neurological storm. It's the smell of comfort, rich cocoa, warm coffee. But for your dog, it's the beginning of a neurological storm. Chocolate and coffee both contain methylxanthines, specifically theobromine and caffeine. While humans metabolize these compounds in hours, dogs process them 10 times slower. That delay gives toxicity time to build, attack, and overwhelm. Symptoms begin subtly: restlessness, panting. Then they escalate: racing heart, tremors, seizures, and in high enough doses, sudden death. Dark chocolate is the deadliest. Just 1 ounce can send a 20-pound dog into cardiac arrest. Coffee grounds, espresso beans, and energy drinks? Even worse. One Labrador owner shared a nightmare. Her dog licked leftover mocha from a mug. Within an hour, he was shaking uncontrollably, eyes darting, heart racing. It took 2 ER vets and $200 to stabilize him. The scary part? It wasn't a candy bar, it was a sip. Never leave mugs, wrappers, or baking ingredients within reach. Dogs love sweet smells, but can't sense danger. Instead, treat them to a frozen banana slice or a safe chew toy. Comfort doesn't have to be chemical, because a sip to you could be a seizure to them. And if the brain is at risk from something so small, what damage hides inside a can of tuna? 6. Canned tuna. Mercury in a metal trap. Fish is healthy, you think. It's brain food. And so you share a spoonful of canned tuna with your dog, maybe even regularly. But beneath that flaky texture lies a neurotoxin that builds up silently. Mercury. Tuna, especially the canned variety, contains elevated levels of mercury and heavy metals. These compounds accumulate in a dog's brain and spinal cord over time, causing tremors, disorientation, and, eventually, irreversible brain damage. Your dog won't collapse after 1 bite. That's what makes it dangerous. They'll start moving slower, losing balance, forgetting commands. You'll think it's age, but inside, their nervous system is shutting down. Most canned fish is also packed in salt and oil, stressing the liver and kidneys, organs that filter these very toxins. And the preservatives? They may extend shelf life, but they shorten your dog's. In one case study, a senior dog fed canned tuna weekly developed seizures that were initially misdiagnosed as epilepsy, until a toxicity panel revealed high mercury levels. Instead of tuna, offer steamed sardines or salmon, plain and unseasoned. They're rich in omega-3s, without the toxic load. A spoon of tuna may feel generous, but it's generosity laced with poison. And if toxins can build up in the brain, what happens when just a few nuts trigger paralysis? 7. Macadamia nuts. Tiny seeds of paralysis. You drop a few mixed nuts on the floor. Your dog scoops them up. You smile. He's fast. You think it's harmless. But just a few macadamia nuts can trigger a neurological shutdown. These buttery nuts contain an unknown toxin, unique to dogs, that affects the nervous system. Even in small amounts, macadamia ingestion can lead to muscle tremors, weakness, vomiting, high fever, and temporary paralysis. In one reported case, a 50-pound dog developed rear leg weakness and uncontrollable shaking 12 hours after eating just 6 nuts. He couldn't stand for 2 days. There's no antidote, only supportive care and time. Worse, macadamia nuts are often salted, adding a double threat: dehydration and kidney strain. Even safe nuts, like almonds or cashews, can cause choking, intestinal blockages, or pancreatitis due to fat content. And dogs don't chew like we do. Their bodies aren't made to break down hard fats and nut oils. Replace that crunch with baby carrots or cucumber slices. They satisfy the bite and support digestion instead of breaking it down. One handful of nuts to you is a hospital visit to them. So if nuts can knock out their legs, what happens when we layer multiple toxins in one meal? 8. Pizza and sandwiches, the processed poison combo. It starts with a bite, just a crust, maybe a sliver of cheese. Your dog begs, tail wagging. You give in, because what harm could a little pizza do? But this isn't just one food. It's a cocktail of killers. Pizza and sandwiches combine some of the worst offenders: garlic and onion in sauces, processed meats like sausage and ham, packed with nitrates, salt, and fat, and cheese, loaded with lactose and saturated fat. The bread adds another punch: refined carbs, sometimes even xylitol if labeled low sugar. All of this puts a dog's organs into panic mode. Their pancreas strains, their kidneys dehydrate, their red blood cells weaken. One small slice might not cause collapse, but repeated indulgence becomes a slow-motion attack. In one veterinary ER case, a senior dog went into acute pancreatitis after being fed leftover pizza crust and pepperoni for a week. The owners thought they were being generous. Instead of human takeout, make your dog their own snack plate: steamed veggies, plain chicken, a dash of olive oil. Still special, still safe. Because love shouldn't be layered in toxins. And if processed food can hit every organ at once, what damage could a simple yogurt cup do? Flavored yogurt, probiotic, or diabetic time bomb. Yogurt is healthy, you think. It has probiotics. It helps digestion. But not for your dog. Most flavored yogurts are loaded with refined sugar, artificial flavors, and worst of all, xylitol. This means one innocent-looking spoonful could trigger a dangerous blood sugar crash. And if it contains xylitol, it could mean liver failure within hours. Even without additives, yogurt is made from milk. And most adult dogs are lactose intolerant. That creamy treat causes bloating, gas, diarrhea, and hours of silent pain they can't explain. In one case, a senior poodle was treated for chronic ear infections and itchy paws for years, until the vet traced it to daily flavored yogurt treats. The sugar and dairy inflamed her gut and immune system. Think of your dog's gut like a delicate balance. Sugar feeds the bad bacteria. Artificial colors stress the liver. Dairy slows digestion. It's a recipe for discomfort, masked as love. Instead, offer a tablespoon of plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt, or better yet, a lactose-free coconut version. Cool, creamy, and safe. The label says healthy, but it wasn't written for dogs. And if gut health is at risk from yogurt, what's really rising in that slice of bread? 10. Bread. Gas bomb in the gut. It's soft, harmless, comforting, a little crust, a sandwich edge, a dinner roll shared with your furry friend. But for dogs, bread is more than empty calories. It can become a dangerous gas bomb. Here's why. Bread contains yeast, especially if it's fresh or homemade. Once inside a dog's warm stomach, that yeast can keep fermenting, releasing gas that causes painful bloating. In severe cases, this can lead to gastric dilation and volvulus, GDV, a deadly condition where the stomach twists on itself. Dogs can die within hours, if not treated immediately. Even store-bought bread carries risks. The refined flour spikes blood sugar, and ingredients like garlic powder, raisins, or xylitol in low-sugar bread add hidden threats. You won't notice a problem right away, but your dog might start pacing, panting, or retching without vomiting. Early signs of GDV. One golden retriever died after sneaking a batch of raw dough from the counter. The fermentation continued in his belly. His stomach distended and rotated before the vet could intervene. Bread is filler. Dogs need fuel. Replace the roll with crunchy carrots or apple slices, no seeds. Still satisfying. Still safe. That innocent crust? It's not so innocent inside a smaller gut. And if gas can kill in silence, what about a corn cob that never digests? 11. Corn on the cob. Blockage in disguise. You're enjoying summer BBQ. You toss your dog a chunk of corn cob. He chomps it down, tail wagging. But here's what you didn't see. That cob won't break down. Not in a day, not ever. Corn itself isn't toxic, but the cob is a choking hazard and a blockage waiting to happen. Dogs often chew but don't fully break apart the cob. It slides into their digestive tract, absorbs moisture, and swells like cement. The result? Intestinal obstruction, one of the top emergency surgery causes in dogs. Symptoms may start subtle: loss of appetite, vomiting, whining, pacing, then escalate to gut rupture and sepsis if untreated. In one case, a small mixed breed stopped eating 2 days after a BBQ. X-rays revealed a 4-inch piece of corn cob lodged in the intestines. Emergency surgery saved him. Barely. Even small bits are risky. The fibrous structure doesn't dissolve, and the edges can cause internal cuts. And no, your dog can't pass it out. It's not fiber. It's plastic-like debris in a biological system that wasn't made for it. Want a better crunch? Choose green beans or carrot sticks. The joy is in the chew, not in the risk. And if a cob can tear the gut, what happens when a vitamin tears the liver? 12. Vitamins, human, megadoses, microbodies. You take vitamins every morning. One day, you drop one. Your dog snatches it before you can react. It's just a vitamin, you think. Can't be that bad. But for dogs, human supplements can be toxic time bombs. Many human vitamins contain iron, vitamin D, xylitol, or high doses of calcium. Nutrients we need, but in concentrations beats can't handle. Iron causes gastrointestinal bleeding and organ damage. Vitamin D leads to calcium buildup, resulting in kidney failure. Xylitol, used as a sweetener in chewable tablets, can cause a rapid insulin spike, hypoglycemia, seizures, and liver failure. In a recent ER report, a terrier mix swallowed 2 children's chewable vitamins. Within 30 minutes, she was vomiting, shaking, and her blood sugar had plummeted. She spent 3 days in ICU on IV fluids and liver protectants. Even natural supplements, like omega-3 capsules, can cause diarrhea, pancreatitis, or worse, if the dosage isn't dog-specific. Remember, dogs are not small humans. Their livers process chemicals differently. Their tolerance is lower. Their weight is lower. The risk? Much higher. If your dog needs supplements, get them from a vet, formulated for canine biology. One tablet could tip the balance. And if a vitamin meant to help can harm, what damage do fiery spices leave behind? 13. Spicy food. Curry. Fire that burns internally. You made dinner, there's curry left. Your dog's begging eyes melt you. A spoonful can't hurt, right? But for dogs, spicy food is fire in the wrong system. Ingredients like chili powder, cayenne, and turmeric, while healthy for humans, can irritate and inflame a dog's stomach lining, triggering vomiting, diarrhea, and dehydration. The spices burn from the mouth all the way through the gut. But the hidden threat? Curry often contains onion and garlic powder, which silently destroy red blood cells, leading to anemia, as you learned earlier. High oil content and salt levels overload the pancreas and kidneys, especially in older dogs. And the complexity of the dish? Dogs aren't designed to handle it. Their digestive system evolved for simplicity, not sauces, spices, and human leftovers. One Doberman was rushed to the vet after licking a plate of leftover vindaloo. He spent the night vomiting blood, with a dangerously elevated heart rate from internal inflammation. Dogs don't show pain the way we do. They'll wag their tail, even while burning inside. Skip the flavor sharing. Offer a plain protein or steamed veggie instead. A bite for love shouldn't feel like fire. Because now that you've seen what food can do, what will you choose to feed tomorrow? You've given your dog love, loyalty, and your leftovers. Not because you were careless, but because no one ever told you the truth. These 13 foods were not chosen to shame you. They were chosen because they seem as safe, because you've probably shared them before. But now, you know better. You've seen how xylitol poisons the liver, how grapes shut down kidneys, how a single cob can block the intestines. You've seen the silent threats and the science behind them. And you've seen how simple switches, like swapping bacon for plain chicken or skipping flavored yogurt for coconut-based, can make a world of difference. Because your dog, they trust you completely. They can't read labels. They don't know what's safe. They only know you. So protect them with the same love they give you every day. Share this video with another dog owner you care about. They might be making the same innocent mistakes. Comment below, which food shocked you the most? What have you fed without knowing the risks? And if you want to know the 10 human foods that actually add years to your dog's life, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Your dog is counting on you to be the difference between comfort and crisis. Now you have the power to choose right, starting today.